Good morning, Mr. Palmer. How are you, sir? Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to Happy Near Jesus. It is.
I'm not
It's
editing that
been
out.
it's been a new year, by the way. Happy New Year to you, Mr.
20.
Deegan. How
Thank you,
are you
sir. Thank
doing?
you. I'm good. It's we're 5 days into 2024. I have yet to screw up and write 2023 on anything, but in fairness, I don't write out any checks anymore or anything like that. So it's a little bit easier to do. I think when we were in college or school or early in our careers when we wrote everything down, it was a lot easier to put the wrong year. And I haven't made that mistake in a little bit now. So dating myself.
No, I was on a call yesterday and I wrote the wrong. I mean, like the very first opportunity I had to write the year, I wrote it wrong. So
It's kind of like you have to. I think it's like a almost like a rite of passage. You can't be in a new year until you've written the wrong year. I think
and
there's
and
probably a rule.
the worst part was I didn't catch it till I wrote the second one wrong. I
Consistency is
was
key.
like, I wrote this because I was on a call. I'll tell the story. I was on a call with a senior or SE VP, and we were putting some dates on a tracker. And I was like, okay, that's going to be. I was like, that'll be accomplished by 12 January 23. And I was like, and this one will be accomplished by 12 January 20. And I went, wait a second, it's not 23 anymore, it's 24. So I've done it.
It
And,
happens. What are you gonna do? I mean,
and
at the end of the day,
well, and we can tell by the video now that sometimes in the morning, Jim isn't always firing on all cylinders. So
I was gonna say I don't have that. I'd say it's just a constant excuse. I'm not always firing on all cylinders. It has nothing to do with the morning.
mine totally has to do with the morning because I'm still working on my second cup of coffee in my coffee cup today. So yeah.
And
So
that's I was gonna say you gave almost like a good little segue. You
I
know,
was trying.
yeah, we mentioned it last year. And see, I can say that and not be too corny, even though last year is also last week. But we did mention it on the live stream, and I think we might have mentioned it in our faux finale because we did have officially two more shows after that. One was planned, one was not. Um, that we were going to start doing video, and we are recording this. This will get posted, but if you're listening to us on your usual audio podcasts, and for whatever reason you're bored, unable to listen to a podcast, want to actually see us and give yourself nightmares, we're going to be on YouTube. So the Ruckus Education channel will have our streams. I'm sure we'll post it on social media, on my account, Jim's account, on the Ruckus official account, and everywhere else. It'll be in the show notes. So if you want to find us there, right now we're not sharing anything. You're not missing anything other than just what brand of coffee cup Jim had and what flavor Mountain Dew I'm drinking. But there will be times we've got some stuff, and here's another segue. I'm teeing it up for you, Mr. Palmer. There will be times in the near future that we will have content to be shared on the video. So the audio will be good. We'll do as good a job as we can to describe whatever it is we're going through as we've done over the last year. But there will definitely be a reason to come over to the YouTube channel and check out certain content. And in some cases, we probably will have some content, as we did with the live stream, that you could listen to it, but you're really going to be a little bit lost if you're not watching along with the video. Um,
Yeah, there's and some of this has to do, and I'll sort of pull back the curtain a little bit. Some of this has to do with some changes that have been teased to podcast creators about some changes that are coming in one of the platforms that one of the big platforms that people use. And so there's some changes coming there. There's also some ideas that John and I have been working on where we said, we'd like to be able to talk about things, but it'd be so much easier if at this, as we talked about it, instead of trying to spend 5 minutes explaining what we're trying to, what we're seeing, be like, hey, let's just share that. And so, because of that and because of the some changes in just how people consume stuff, we are committed, John much more than I am, to bringing video, doing video in addition to the audio stuff. So we'll be on both. So however you want to consume it, whether you like watching YouTube to get your podcast content, or if you just like listen to us in the car, it's going to be in both places. And so that's the one of the first things we wanted to talk about for this year,
And
which
I
is,
have to laugh just because I have to. I finally did it.
yes, you did. I saw it.
I finally started the podcast. I'm recording on the Roadcaster, thank God. Hopefully that audio turns out okay. But for the first time in a year, I started we started the show without recording it. So the video is going to be shorter. We're gonna maybe we make this some of those shorts. I don't know about TikTok. I don't think I want to be on TikTok, but
No.
the video and the audio, we'll have to get creative. But good Lord willing, hopefully the Roadcaster audio is agreeing with me. So, anyways,
So yeah, so
took me a year.
took you a year, but you finally forgot to hit record on the video
Yep.
when we started. There's some other background stuff there we won't get into, but yeah, so the video is going to be there. Sometimes it'll just be two talking heads. And you can laugh at us that way. And other times we will be sharing screens and sharing, holding stuff up for the camera, stuff like that. So that's coming in what is officially, I think, season 4. This is season 4 of the RUCKCast.
This is season 4.
Um, Season 4 in 2024. So
Worked out
not
nicely that way.
and then that was total coincidence. So what else do we have coming up in season 4 of the RUCKCast, John?
Well, I think the first and foremost item, and I promise I won't forget to hit record for those, but we've got a really something that I think once we decided to do video, once we were kind of committed to that, this is something that I think we have to credit your neighbor with. I think it was sort of driven from his kind of curiosity and wanting to learn from our channel, but he's not a Ruckus guy, unfortunately. And so we kind of said, well, maybe we can make some content for the channel that's a little bit more generic Wi-Fi. There's nothing that says we have to be completely rah Ruckus. Obviously, we are the corporate channel, but so we've got a Ruckcast 10 Things to Know About Wi-Fi series coming that sort of came from that discussion. I think I'm giving him credit. Maybe I don't need to. I think it was from that. If not, I'm really really bad with my memories. But we're going to be doing 10 shows to discuss exactly what that sounds like. One thing per week, and it's multiple bullet points, but one thing per show about what we think people, customers, engineers, etc., should know about Wi-Fi, but kind of take for granted or just don't know.
So yeah, so it's I think the official title or maybe not. We haven't come up with the official title yet, we'll be honest. But the idea was what are 10 things that we wish that all customers really understood about Wi-Fi? And again, yeah, we're a Ruckus channel, but at the same time, you know, everybody still has to, it's all 802.11. And because you can take your phone, your laptop, and you can move from an airport to a school to a hospital to wherever. And I've done all of those. And unfortunately, in the past 2 weeks, and my devices and my family's devices worked in every single place. So we all have to follow 802.11. And there's some really some consistent basic things that as professionals we know about. We just know and understand that, hey, this is just a given. It's not something that, and I think sometimes we forget that. And so the idea is, hey, let's do a series, and we'll have one topic for each episode of this series that where we're as experts we're gonna kind of dive into, and we're gonna discuss some of these things that we take for granted as being just a given, but people who are not as learned in the black magic arts of the Wi-Fi don't always know. So we got that coming up, and so I'm really looking forward to that one, and being able to share some stuff, being able to share, kind of like we did on the live stream where I was sharing Wi-Fi Explorer Pro and looking at, just, hey, when we look at stuff, what are things that we look at? And it was funny when as we were doing that, and that I don't remember who it was like, dude, what is going on one of your channels where you have like 37% utilization? And so it's just, again, it's something that I look at and I go, oh, that's Uni 3. Uni 3 around my house, Uni 1 around my house is total garbage.
Yeah.
And so I take it for granted. You take it for granted.
Yeah.
But a lot of people don't know that. So that's kind of what we're going to do is we're going to show off some tools. We're going to show off, and kind of go into why we think what we think, and help people, kind of hopefully use it as a resource when people say, I don't really understand this part of Wi-Fi. I want people to be able to say, hey, go watch, you know, Jim and John and figure out, and learn from there. So
No,
we
I
got that
agree.
coming up.
I mean, I like that. I mean, that was, and Jim again is referencing our live stream that wrapped up 2023, where he took a Ruckus, what was it, a 550, from a standalone
Yep.
controller code, or standalone code, not controller code, rather, all the way to the VSE code in just about an hour and change, I think it was. Um, but the live interaction was nice. I like the demos. I like being able to walk through and have people kind of react. If they were kind of clutching their pearls when you were looking at your neighborhood, if I had lit up my screen and shared my Wi-Fi Explorer, I think they would have all needed a defibrillator because I live in New York City, Staten Island officially, but that is part of New York City, and I can throw a ball and hit like 5 or 6 or 10 neighbors, and I can see all their Wi-Fi. So, um,
Yeah.
but it's good. And speaking of live streams, um, I think we had fun. I know I had fun. I think we had a little bit of traction for something. We really didn't do a whole lot of hyping for it. I mean, we kind of let everybody know we were going to do it. But I think that's something we might explore doing more of this year. I'm sure there's going to be a few events, maybe some product releases or something coming up where we might want to actually do a live stream. And maybe it looked like, looking at the history from the education channel, it looked like they used to do lives, I guess once a month or something like that. I'm not necessarily looking to get into that kind of a commitment, but we'll talk to the powers that be and the decision makers, and maybe we'll start doing something a little bit more frequent. So where we're doing something like,
Yeah.
because that was fun. I like the thing we miss with doing a podcast where it's just us or us and a guest is that added little bit of audience interaction. Which, I mean, granted, we only had, I think our max was like 16 or 20
Wow.
people. Yeah, we had a good turnout on, I can't remember which one did better, Twitch or YouTube, but we had decent traction, and we did get some feedback and some questions and things like that. So, um, you know, if we have an opportunity to do that again and reach another chunk of the audience, and either teach people more about Ruckus that they already are using but didn't know about, or introduce more people to Ruckus, why not? I think it's a pretty cool way to use this apparatus, if you will. So that'll be something. Hopefully, we'll do a few more. I wouldn't say I was terrified of doing it, but there was so much going into it. There's so many moving parts, and yeah, it went a lot better than I could have expected, and yeah, I'm not opposed to doing more of those. I think we'll do
Yeah.
at least one or two.
And again, to me, I had a really good time. You hit the nail on the head. There's so many moving parts when we start talking about doing a live stream, from a technical aspect of just getting to where, I mean, if you were one of the 6 or 7 people that joined at the very beginning, you kind of caught for, I think it took us like 10 or 15 minutes just to figure out, like, oh, how do I get this, getting all the streams started, getting the video, getting the audio, you know, getting this, getting that. There's so much that goes into it. That's the terrifying part. But once it was going, oh yeah, I had a good time. So I think we can do that. I think we should do a couple of at least a couple more this
Yeah,
year. So
you picked a really good one to start with. Obviously, the going through the different code changes, because it's something that I think we do really really well, and it doesn't always come into play, but it's nice, and it was very very well laid out. But we've got other things to look at. I mean, looking at what's coming down the pike in 2024, we know your favorite topic from 2023, Wi-Fi 7, is definitely going to be a thing. I believe last we heard, it should be official sometime in maybe Q1 ish, maybe, I don't know, sometime in
um
2024. We'll say
yeah.
2024, because we're talking about the government here at some point, so it could slip.
Well,
Um,
it's not really the government. I mean, it's not an
well,
FCC call. It's an IEEE call.
yeah.
So, but we also we still have AFC, which is
That's
one of
true.
your favorite topics of
Well, we could go for that
hey,
for a couple, 3
what is
years or
that?
so.
You've been you've been waiting on AFC for 3 years, so
Well, more than that because I've been
more
here
than
for
that.
3 years. So, but yeah, there's a few things. I mean, obviously, there's going to be a lot more with Wi-Fi 7. We know we've got new controller code that'll be coming out. I'm sure we'll have additional new products. So, plenty of opportunities for a live demo or just a live stream in general. So, I think there's a lot of exciting things to talk about when it comes to all those for 2024. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Speaking of what we're looking forward to, what are we doing in February, Jim? Forget about
So we
January. We're already through January. That's only the fifth, but we're
so
already through.
February is the Jim and John annual meetup, where for was it 4 or 5 days a year, we get in the same, we're in the same city, and it's really odd that that is the only time we ever get to be in the same city.
Yeah, we try, but
I mean, but think about it. Think about it.
I see you
We,
almost every day. I talk to you every day.
yeah, but how often are we ever in the same city?
It doesn't happen often. I mean, I've literally only ever seen you in Phoenix.
Exactly. And that's the other funny part is you live in New York. I live outside of Denver. And yet we only see each other when we go to Phoenix, and we only go to Phoenix in February. So that's why it's now I'm just like, oh, February is the Jim and John meetup.
Which it really, it works.
There might
And
be
so,
other stuff going on, but I think I'm just gonna steal it and
there you
be like, oh yeah, this is actually the Jim and John meetup, and 350 people join us.
go. It's I feel like there's a sticker there. I don't know where, I don't know what, but we'll work on that. We laugh, but the sticker of you with your silver helmet from Prague really took on a life of its own.
It
And
and
Sam
it,
still owes you a quarter for that.
he does. Sam, if you're listening, I still want my quarter. I never got it, and it better be shiny. Um, yeah, it's weird. It's weird what takes on a life of its own. And that's what I kind of love about the community is you never know. You think you want to plan and be like, oh yeah, this is gonna be it. And then it's totally something that's just random and weird. And but I that's one of the unique things about the community that I really appreciate.
Yeah,
So
and the nice thing too, and sort of I'm almost going to put on a marketing hat, but the nice thing about some of those like inside jokes and gags is they take on a life of their own, like you said, but they get it's the viral marketing kind of thing, right? And you walk around, and I mean, I remember we made the stickers up, and by we I mean, so giving everybody a little bit of a history, right? So 2022 Prague, you were there after the event was over. A bunch of you guys and gals rented like tricycles, bicycles, whatever, scooters to tour Prague, and you
mhm.
had to wear a helmet, and you got a like silver chrome. I don't even know. It's like basically like an army helmet.
Oh, and
And
I packed them all up. I don't have them sitting out on my
I don't
desk
think I've got
anymore.
any on. Well, if I did, I would have to go hunting for them. But so, um, and so the picture got posted to Twitter, and I saw it. A couple other people saw it. And we were kind of there's Jim showing it off right there in the middle. Um, Nice one right above it too. I like that. Um, but so I somebody like we zoomed in and there's a couple people that made poked fun at it, and I'm like, this is totally going to be a sticker. So I literally grabbed the image, sent it off to Sticker Mule, and had them made up. And then we did a batch of whatever 50 or 100, and people couldn't get enough of it at Phoenix 2023. And we've already seen people in some of the Wi-Fi channels on Slack saying like, I need another one. I lost mine, or I ripped mine, or my case broke, or I got a new laptop. So again, it's something that's almost 2 years old at this point, and it's crazy, and it doesn't take much. There you go, and it literally became an Oreo, which I can't believe you still have that Oreo, but I wouldn't recommend eating it because I'm sure that's no good at this point.
I can't eat it. I mean,
Well, no, I mean that'd be weird. You'd be eating yourself, and I think cannibalism is illegal in Colorado. But so Phoenix 2024. So I'll be there. I fly in February 17th. My flight's booked. I don't know if you booked your travel yet or if you're allowed to. I booked mine last year. But yeah, I'll be in the 17th. I've got a boot camp and a deep dive, which is not at all terrifying. Um, yeah,
you fly in on
it's a little
hopefully
bit more than a month away.
hopefully you fly in on the 16th.
Oh, the
because
16th. Okay, yeah, the Friday.
if you fly in on the 17th, that might be a little interesting for the boot camp.
Well, it's a small class. I'll be able to run through it in no time. But it'll be yeah. I'll be there. I'll be there Friday to Thursday. I think you get in Sunday or Monday.
I get in on Sunday to Thursday,
which means you get in there in time to make a special appearance at my class, and it'll be fun. And you know we're going to be in Phoenix. I can assure, as I did last year, I will be bringing the podcast gear. We did a live in person recording live from a spacious hotel room last year. I'm sure we'll do a recording or two next month when we're together, just because it's why not.
Yeah. So we got that coming up. Hopefully we have another. I'd really hopefully they're in the cards that we have 2 Jim and John meetups. Still working on the second one, so not sure what's going on with that. I mean, I literally have no plans. I'm just saying it'd be nice if we met up more than once a year.
I mean, you know, drag it out to my customers, or I mean, we don't know what to. I mean, literally, we just flipped the calendar, so we have no idea what else we're going to be doing this year.
I don't want to do actual work, John. I'm not going to meet your customers.
My customers love you, so.
And yeah, which I'm not quite sure what that says about anybody. It
says but the check's cleared.
So yeah, so I'm looking forward to 2024 and the podcast, and you know, like we were talking earlier, and you said that, you know, like season 3 was you know, our first season together, and we learned a lot. We learned a lot about audio, and so season 4 is going to be learning about video. So we could almost, you know, put the tagline in there of season 4 of the RUCKCast, learning about video.
You're not wrong. But we'll see. I mean, it's yeah. 2023 was a blur. You know, we did the recap already, but we wound up doing officially, I think it was 38 episodes when we were all said and done. We did say 36 when we recapped it, and then we did a couple more that snuck in there. We did really, really crazy good numbers, which I would like to do even better for 2024. And you know, ultimately last year when we started, we were doing one every 2 weeks, and now we're basically one a week. So we'll see. You know, hopefully everybody keeps listening. We'd like to see the numbers continue to grow. We are always grateful and appreciative of the audience we have. And, you know, it's a good time to, you know, again, we're going to be on YouTube. The links will be in the show notes. If you guys ever want to talk to us, reach out to us. Again, we'll be in Phoenix, so if you're there, please say hi. You'll have plenty of time to find us. We will have some, well, I mean, I don't think there's going to be a day that goes by that we won't have some Ruckus apparel on at some point. And there will be other Ruckus people. Maybe we'll have all of us on a pre-WOPC podcast. Who knows? Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe a special. That could be a bonus. Maybe. Yeah. Don't hold me to that. But, you know, the rest of the contact information we'll put in the outro. We haven't really gotten anything other than spam there. Not complaining, just commenting. But if you want to throw a show idea out or request, hey, this would be great, could you do this on a live stream? You know, let us know. If you don't ask, we don't know. And as much as we like to think we know it all, we don't. I don't really think we like to know it all, but yeah. So that's kind of where I'm looking forward to 2024. I think we've got a lot to look forward to. There's a lot of, I mean, the 10 things series is going to be good. And I think there's a lot of exciting things with Wi-Fi 7, AFC. We've covered that. You know, we know we've got some really good products, Ruckus One, AI, everything's kind of constantly evolving. We've already seen some exciting new steps that both of those are taking. So lots of things are going to happen. And that's just the stuff we know about and can talk about. Who knows what's under the hood?
Well, here's to it, John.
Indeed, Mr. Palmer. I think I'll drink to that. I'll make my camera go blurry. But yeah, looking forward to the next 51.5 weeks.
I'm out of coffee, so we have to go.
Yeah, there you go. All right, everybody. We'll catch you on the next episode.
See you later.
If you want to contact the show directly, you can email us using the address ruckcast@comscope.com. To learn more about Ruckus products and services that we may have talked about on this or any other podcast, please check the links in the About section of the show.